You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay, and this is a program called
The Wonderful World of Wardini Books.
It's my pleasure, as always, to have in the studio the wonderful Lou from Wardini Books in Havelock North. How you been going, all right?
Yeah, really well. Yeah.
Been flat out too?
Yeah, we're ticking along all right.
That's good. Business is good in both towns.
Yep, even though Art Deco stuff was kind of officially cancelled, there was still a lot of people decoing.
I was decoing. Did you deco?
Not really, no.
I didn't. You didn't get dressed up in your finery and your steampunk?
Oh, actually, so one of my bands did a deco thing at the Common Room. So yes, I did put on a beaded hat thing.
Oh, well, you went all out.
I did.
Good on you. Let's have a look at 3 fabulous books, and the first one is called I Can Roar Like a Dinosaur. That rhymes.
Picture book for little children by Carl Newson and Ross Collins, and there is our beautiful little mouse. He's a mouse, although he has big expectations of life, let's say. I think I reviewed ages ago I Am a Tiger, and that's when he thought he was a tiger and wouldn't take anybody else's opinion for it.
What a great idea for a series of books. It could just go on and on and on.
You can do what he likes, this mouse, because he's just in denial about being a mouse. So, I can roar like a dinosaur. No, you can't, says the meerkat. You're teeny tiny, titchy witchy. You can't scare me. And the mouse continues to squeak. Oh, yes, I can. I'm a dinosaur. Oh, no. I think I've lost my dinosaur roar. So he finds a book called How to Roar Like a Dinosaur, an instruction manual, if you like. Step 1, stand up like a dinosaur. Put your arms out front, like so. Now move your head from side to side. Ready, steady, and then this is my favourite part. Stop! You look like a parsnip. Where did you get that from? You look like a parsnip. And so they go through the instructions, wear a toothy smile, and you do this and you do that. But no, stop, you look like a coconut and a bobble hat. And stomp your feet and do this, and then it goes on and they're practicing being dinosaurs and they're all failing, and the mouse is obviously in charge and saying, no, you're absolutely terrible. You say, right, I could do it if I wanted, it's easy. Ready, steady, and he lets out his roar, but there's a real dinosaur behind him. Dramatic irony, Ken, because he doesn't know that, and he thinks he's just done the most amazing roar, and he's like, there you go, that's absolutely fine. And then he's like, and why didn't no one tell me there's a chicken standing there? And he's just totally decided this massive dinosaur is a chicken. And he's offering the book to the actual dinosaur, like, you could roar like me if you want. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh no, I'm not a dinosaur. That was so absurd. And he's had this massive realisation. He's a bird. If you could just go through life like that, being totally convinced of whatever you like.
Yeah. You could be a Superman.
You could be, and why not? Yeah. Self-belief. That's what that little mouse has.
That's what it's all about,
And I admire him.
And I have no doubt he will return.
I hope so.
Yes,
he's great.
Absolutely indeed. And how it all blew up.
This is a set of problems that's quite a big set of problems. And in this advanced reading copy, there is it's a young adult novel, and it's by Arvin Ahmadi, who is a Iranian American and grew up in a Muslim family. And it's based on an experience that he had as a teenager when, in his very strict Muslim family, he decided that it would be quite difficult to come out as gay.
Yes.
Which you can imagine. So not only is he a brown boy, he's experienced racism, he's also a gay boy, and he's a Muslim. And his birthday is September the 11th, so they always celebrated it very quietly, because for a Muslim family to look really happy on September the 11th was a no-no. So he's got this very distinct set of problems. And in this book, Amir Azadi, it's auto-fiction, so he's fictionalised it. It's a story, but his character Amir is the one that he's putting all his experiences onto. So what happens is Amir is 18, he's finishing high school, he's going to graduate, he's going to go off to college, he's going to do whatever. He doesn't want to disappoint his family with his grades at school, and also is absolutely terrified because he's watched for years his family's reactions to gay people. His mum's quite happy to watch Ellen. Is it Ellen?
Yes, it is.
On TV. She doesn't bat an eyelid at that, but his father has frowned when he's seen 2 men holding hands in the street. So he's watched these micro gestures for just signs of disapproval. And he's thought, no, I can't. They'll just kick me out. He's got a little sister who's 13, and she's far more switched on than anybody thinks. So he kind of starts this relationship with a boy at school, one of the high school jocks, and it's all very secret. But another kid who's a bit of a bully, well, quite a bit of a bully, takes a photo of them, sees them, and takes a photo of them together, and blackmails him and says, "I need you to pay me, $1,000. Otherwise, on graduation, I'm going to tell your parents about all this." And one thing leads to another, and he can't. He's panicking, and he's got some money because he works for people who want to update wiki pages and things like that. And so he's got this money coming in, and he panics and he runs away.
Yeah.
And he gets a flight to New York, and then from New York he panics further because his parents are on the phone like, "What's going on?" And he thinks they know, and then it turns out they still don't know, so he still hasn't come out to them, and he sees a flight to Rome, and he just goes to Rome.
That's it.
And then he meets these older men in this gay scene in Rome, and it's his story then of he comes out to them and he just has this most wild, amazing time in Rome. So there are lots of sexual references in there. He's having a good time,
yes.
but there's no sort of
Yes.
explicit sex scenes, and it's quite sweary. And it's highly entertaining. And then it's all this sort of tension with his family the whole way through. Is he actually going to reconcile with his family? And how it's written is you've got it's called How It All Blew Up.
Yeah.
So, which is quite unfortunate because it's him having an argument on an aeroplane with his family, and they get detained because they're a Muslim family and they've caused trouble on a plane. And so you've got interrogation room 37, and you've got sections where Amir, his mother, father and sister are all talking to the officers there. And then you've got sections going like 30 days until it all blew up. So, that's him going to Rome and him having... So you've got those sections, and then the family are clearly all together at the end, but how together are they? And it was really lovely. It's highly entertaining. It's quite fast-paced. Being a nearly 50-year-old, I sometimes thought, you spoilt little brat.
Yes.
You tell your mother where you are, But I can totally see as well how confused and upset, and really, it would be really stressful for him, the thing that he went through.
And is there reconciliation at the end? Because, that issue that we're talking about or reading about in there, it's very much a true issue for lots of people, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. His family love him.
Yes.
And they are determined to love him in
no matter
whatever
what
form he comes in. Yeah.
That is marvellous. I love happy endings.
Yeah, but he just wasn't sure of that. So there's a nice discussion in there about how that's not what they wanted for him, but they are coming to terms with it. So how it can be really hard. There's acceptance comes, but it's not necessarily easy for the acceptor. And so we've got to kind of work through things, even though it should be,
Of course.
But
Is it a page turner?
Yeah, it really is. It's quite funny.
Yeah. Would you give that a 10?
For what it is, which is a young adult novel, a coming out story, a coming of age novel, then it's a good 9 out of 10.
Oh, that is good.
It was good.
Tell us about Light Seekers.
Oh, this is a different take on your crimey-wimey one. So your detective in this one is an investigative psychologist. It's set in Nigeria. So Philip Taiwo, his name is. It could be Taiwo, but I'm reading it like you would pronounce a Maori word.
Yes.
He is the investigative psychologist, and he and his wife, who's a lawyer, and their children have been living in the States for years. And they moved back to Nigeria because she's got a really good job in Lagos. And Lagos is still quite sheltered from what goes on in the rest of Nigeria. So they're quite a well-off family, they're a privileged family, and they're going about their business. And, some things in Nigeria are a bit different to America. But then his father wants him to investigate the case of a mob killing of 3 students at a university out in the sticks somewhere, near Port Harcourt. And he doesn't want to do it, but it's a friend of his father, and one of the sons died, and he's sort of emotionally blackmailed into going out there. And he lands in Port Harcourt, and he's like, "Oh my God, I've just been in America too long," because he gets there and the arrivals is a tent.
Yeah.
And he's picked up by someone who's going to be working with him and looking after him, a driver called Chika. And Chika has to, bribe the military police on the side of the road to get through checkpoints and things like that. And he's like, "Wow, this is the Nigeria, right? I am Nigerian, and I'm glad to be back, but I know very little about this side of my homeland." So that's really interesting because he's educating the reader as he educates himself. And the author is Nigerian, and I think that's quite a lot of Femi Coyote's experience of going back to his country after being out of it for a while. So anyway, these 3 university students were accused of thieving in the village, and they were tortured in the street and killed, basically. And it's quite, when you see what happened to them, it's quite horrible.
Graphic.
But he is investigating it, and there's a lot more to the investigation than first meets the eye, of course. But because you're looking at it not through a police officer's viewpoint, he can go places and ask questions that police can't. And Chica, there's a lot more to the driver than meets the eye, because he seems to have some very interesting sort of personal, what am I trying to say, attack skills. Yeah. So he's quite handy. Yeah.
Who's going to read it?
If you just want a fresh take on a crime novel, it's completely refreshing, because we quite often, they're American and they're Jack Reacher and they go down this formula. It's not formulaic at all. It's really evocative of a dusty, poor, corrupt side of Nigeria that we probably don't. You read about it and it's the American oil industry that's caused a lot of problems there. But really fascinating and great characters.
Is he a first-time author?
I don't know. Let me try and find out. I'll try and do this really quickly, because this is not really a thing that you do on the radio.
Right. We don't normally ask that question either.
Hang on. He grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, studied clinical psychology. So again, it's like very much his experience. His writing credits include several award-winning works for stage and screen. And this book has won the Little Brown Crime Fiction Award, and he now lives in Namibia.
Did he write White Rabbit, Red Rabbit?
I don't know.
Let's look it up.
Yeah.
That's all right. You don't need to look again. I shall find out myself. Yeah. All right. And if we want any of these wonderful books, where do we get them?
Wardini Books. That would be nice.
Good on you, Lulu. As always, my pleasure. Look after yourself. Talk to the same time, same place next week.
Cool. Thanks, Kim.